All right, a few more examples here. Now, what we're doing is, again, PEMDAS. So, looking at this, we have a plus, and then divide, plus, and multiply. So it looks like first we need to do this division. And because this is separated by plus, at the same time, we can do this multiplication. So we have 9 plus. Now, negative 21 divided by 7, well, 21 divided by 7 is 3, and that's going to become a negative 3. And then we have plus 2 times negative 9 is negative 18. Okay. So now we work from left to right. 9 minus 3 is going to be 6 plus negative 18. Well, 18 minus 6 is 12, and it's going to be a negative. And so that would be our final answer. Now this one looks like I've left off a parenthesis here, but it looks like all I've done here, so that's okay. And so now what we have is a negative 7 minus 5 divided by negative 2 minus a minus 6. So looks like we can go ahead and change some stuff. It looks like this negative negative is positive. And then all we have to do is work inside of the parentheses and the brackets, and then at the end we can do our division. So a negative 7, if we want to, we can rewrite that negative 7 plus a negative 5. And so 7 plus 5 is going to give us 12, and we need this negative sign, so that's a negative 12. And if we want, we can keep that in parentheses. Now divided by, well, now we have, what do we have? Well, we have a negative 2 plus a negative 2 plus 6. Okay. Well, 2 plus 2 is 4. That's going to be a negative 4. So if we go ahead and do that, that's going to be a negative 4. And then plus 6. Well, 6 minus 4 is 2. Okay. So kind of working our way through it. Now we have our division. 12 divided by 2 is 6. And our sign is going to be negative. All right. What about the next one here? Well, the next one, we can do everything in the numerator and work it out, work everything in the denominator, and then at the end we can do our division. So let's kind of do that as we go. So we have a squared, we have a divide, we have a multiply, we have a subtract, and we have an add. So between those, adding and subtracting, we can't do anything, but everything else we can work on. So 5 plus, well, 3 squared is 9 minus, well, now we have to go order from left to right. So let's go ahead and just do this. Now we just put our minus here, so we don't have to worry about signs. So 24 divided by 6, well, 24 divided by 6 is 4. And then we still have times 2. Well, 4 times 2 is 8, and so that's going to be an 8. Okay. And that then gives us the next part here. And so now what we're going to do is divide that by, now we have, well, we have some squares, parentheses, brackets. So we have a lot of stuff here we have to kind of think through. So if we want to kind of simplify it to this point, well, we have 5 plus 3 times 2 squared is 4 minus 5, and so that whole thing then is brackets still. Plus, now we have absolute value. 2 squared is 4 minus 5, then absolute value. All right. So now, and again, I'm just trying to work it down to the kind of the plus. So 4 minus 5 is going to be, we have 5 plus 3 times negative 1. Now we have 3 times negative 1 is negative 3. And then we have plus a 5, and 5 minus 3 is 2. Okay. Now here, 4 minus 5 is negative 1. We're taking the absolute value of that. The absolute value of that is 1. This is still plus, so 2 plus 1. So that's what we've come down to here. All right, so 9 minus 8 is 1, plus 5 is 6, 2 plus 1 is 3, 6 divided by 3 is 2. So it ends up being really quick once you do all these little pieces along the way, but it takes a while to get there because we had to do multiple steps to get to each of the steps we had to do to get to where we needed to be to simplify it down to that simple number 2. Okay, so it's hard to guess that this answer is going to be a simple 2 from that, but it works out quite nicely. All right, application problem. So here it says Laura is bowling 5 games. Her first 4 scores were 82, 126, 107, and 132. To end up with an average score of at least 124.2, what is the lowest score Laura will need to in her 5th game? Okay, so how do we set that up? Well, how do we do averages? Remember, it's going to be basically you can think about your scores divided by the number of things you did, and that's going to be equal to your average. So what we need to do is we need to add up all of her scores. So we've got 82 plus 126 plus 107 plus 132 plus, well, we don't know her 5th game. So guess what? We get to put in X. So that's our first time basically we're using algebra here because we have that X. And that's divided by, well, how many times? Well, there was 5 games, so divided by 5. Now to end up with at least 124.2. So that means it has to be, greater than, and at least is going to be, or it could be equal to, greater than or equal to 124.2. Okay. Now, that makes everybody go, what do we do now? Well, this is a fraction, and this is just a number. So to get rid of this denominator, because we need to solve for this. This is what we're solving for. So we need to get it, the numerator all by itself. So to get rid of this 5, let's multiply that side by 5 and multiply that side by 5. So now what happens? Well, when we multiply by 5 like that, boom, boom, it's gone over here. So now we just have just a row of numbers plus x. And here we have this. So now we're back to, we have to multiply out things. 124.2 times 5. 2 times 5 is 10. That's 21. That's 10, 12. And that's 6. And we move the decimal 1. So we get 621 over here. So greater than or equal to 621. Now here we have to add all those together. So let's make a list. 132, 107, 126, and 82. So we have 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 17, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 8 is 14. 1, 2, 3, 4, 447. So we have x plus 447. Okay, so that looks good so far. Now to solve for this, we just subtract our 447, and we get x has to be greater than or equal to, and since it wants the lowest score, really it just has to give us a value. And so now we have to do some subtraction here. So 6, we go 5, that's 11. So 7, that's going to be a 4, and that's going to be a 7, and that's going to be a 1. So 174. So our minimum score is a 174. Okay, so that would be what they're looking for in this case. All right. So that is all I have for this section. So hopefully that will help you.